Chapter today. We are doing chapter 8, which is starting to talk about volume and surface area of shapes. And lesson 1 starts with cylinders, and your assignment for today was page 592, numbers 1 through 4, and page 593, numbers 1 through 4. To kind of help guide you with this, make sure you have the formula written down and know what each part is. And I'm going to go through that now. So volume of the cylinder is V equals pi times radius squared times the height. Okay, so V is volume. So we can write that out. And remember pi, we can represent that with 3.14. R is the radius. And then H is the height. Okay. So the way this works, if I'm given a cylinder, the radius is the distance from the middle of the circle to the edge, right? So that's R. And the height, well, the height is just how tall is the cylinder, right? How long is it? You can think about this as like a can of pop or something. And how long is that can of pop? How tall is it? So we have the radius, we have the height, and then pi, of course, is always 3.14. That never changes. And that'll help us get to our volume, all right? So if I'm looking at question 1 and 2, notice I'm given two different things. The first one, I'm given the shape, right? I'm given the whole shape. And we need to plug in to find the volume, right? So volume equals pi times radius squared times the height. And if you think about it, the volume is pretty much the area of a circle. Well, that's this part, right? That's just the area of the circle times it by the height, or how long it is. So it's the area of the circle times it by the height. That's basically what the volume of a cylinder is. So if I'm plugging in what I know, well, I know that the radius, well, pi is always 3.14. Times the radius, 1.5, that's this part here, that's the radius, and that is going to be squared. And then times it by the height, that would be 8. And now we can just plug this into a calculator, multiply it all out, and you will get 56.5, right? So that's my volume. Keep in mind it says round to the nearest tenth. And then my unit is centimeters. And then since we're dealing with volume, it is cubed. Make sure every single time you have your unit labeled with cubed. Alright, and that's how you would do question 1. Alright, you're given the shape, you have the radius, you have the height, you just have to plug in to find the volume. Okay, number 2, same thing, but now I don't have the shape. They just give me what I know. I know that the diameter of the circle is 8 inches, and the height is 8 inches. Now wait a second, diameter is different than radius. Well, remember that diameter is equal to 2 times the radius, right? So what can I do? I can divide this 8 by 2 to get a radius of 4 inches, right? Remember, radius is half the diameter. So when I plug in, I'm going to be plugging in 4, okay? So we need to figure out the volume equals pi, which is 3.14, times my radius, which is 4, squared, times it by my height of 8. And if I multiply that all out and I round to the nearest tenth, I find that the volume is 402 1/10 inches cubed, right? Once again, I have my unit and it is labeled to the third power. Okay? So make sure you decide whether are we given the radius or are we given the diameter. And you need to make sure that you are always using the radius in your formula. On question 3, I'm not going to go over that one. I want you to kind of work through it. Now, if I get a lot of questions on it, I'll do a separate video to kind of help you out, but I will guide you. All right? This is a large shape. To figure out the volume of the whole figure, what you have to do is find the volume of each part and add it together. So we have to find the volume of the rectangular prism on top, plus the volume of the cylinder, plus the volume of the rectangular prism. All right? And you're going to add all three of those together to get the total volume. So remember, the volume for a rectangular prism is just length times width times height. All right? So you're going to use two different formulas to figure out this question. So you're going to add all three of those together once you find it. Okay? If you need any help, please send me an email, and I'd be gladly to find a way to help you. Either I'd make a video and try to answer the questions as best as I can. All right? Stay up to date and keep at it. Keep working hard. You're doing a great job, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks.